Good afternoon. I'm Bob Cavender, and I have the news. First, the headlines. President Nixon bestows nation's highest honor. The Democratic Party tries to induce students into political campaigning. Teamsters have a wildcat strike in San Francisco, and a Cuban airliner is hijacked. More on those stories after this. Have you heard the old saying, good cooks always have good tempers? Well, if this holds true, here's a way to be the most even-tempered person ever, a positively radiant personality. Serve delicious Hills Brothers coffee. It's the easy and sure way to become a good cook. Because with Hills Brothers, you can't go wrong. It gives you a beverage with a tempting, wonderful aroma and a full-bodied, delicious flavor every single time you brew it. That's because Hills Brothers has a natural built-in goodness. And this natural built-in goodness is perfected and protected by the skills of many experts. The blenders, roasters, tasters, and packagers, they're all working together to bring you the most aromatic, the most flavorful coffee ever. Try it for yourself. Ask for Hills Brothers, the pressure-packed coffee with the famous Hills Brothers premium coupon in every pound. America's highest award was given to 12 servicemen today by President Nixon. After awarding the medals, Mr. Nixon said, "The Vietnam War is often not understood and not supported by some of this country." But the president also said that Americans would eventually look back at the war and honor those who fought it. The Democratic Party, in an effort to keep the two-party system alive, is embarking on a new project to induce students and other political activists into political campaigning. Democratic co-chair Lawrence O'Brien says Campaign Clearinghouse will help prospective volunteers to work for candidates they like, Democratic or Republican, in the 1970 elections. And a wildcat strike is broken out in San Francisco by dissident Teamsters, shutting down commercial trucking operations. The strike has also halted distribution of both daily newspapers and closed dozens of other enterprises in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'll have a look at the latest sports news after this. The moving of furniture and household possessions is a job that calls for a specialist. A firm like World Van Line, with years of experience in serving thousands of satisfied customers. Perhaps your move is just across town, but don't underestimate the need for a specialist to do the job safely, surely, and quickly. There's an art to handling valuable furnishings, and especially to packing for maximum safety in transit. That's part of the professional service you get when you call on World Van Lines. The most careful handling and packing based on research and experience to prevent any damage from bump or shock, extremes of temperature, moisture, or dryness. So why not depend on World Van Lines for fast, efficient, long-distance moving? As a United Van Lines agent, they're ready to go to any one of the 50 states. So for extra care in every move, call 642-3050 for full information. David Arundel, considered one of the best high school hockey players in the Minneapolis area, will enroll at the University of Wisconsin next September. The 6'1", 200-pound Arundel was named All-City and All-State this year. In baseball, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee baseball team has a 5-game winning streak going and will try to make it 6 tomorrow when it meets Eastern Illinois at Lincoln Park. The Panthers are now 10-13 despite an 8-game losing streak earlier this season. In racing news, gas-injected dragsters, super stocks, gas coupes, roadsters, and modified stocks will compete in the regular weekly program at the Great Lakes Dragaway near Union Grove this weekend. Officials say the track will be open Saturday night for grudge racing sessions. And the KK track will also be open for action Sunday. The fastest cars in the nation, supercharged nitro fuel funny cars, will be competing against the clock. 8 of the nation's best drivers will battle in 3 full power runs at speeds near 200 miles an hour. And finally, the Big Ten today deferred action on the 11-game football season. In March, the conference approved expanding the season to 11 games, but 4 schools in Wisconsin, plus Iowa, Purdue, and Northwestern, have 8 games scheduled in 1971 when the 11-game season would begin. Commissioner Bill Reed has interpreted the legislation to permit these 4 schools to play non-conference opponents in their 11th game. That brings you up to date on the latest news and sports. When news breaks first, you hear it first on the big 920 sound in Milwaukee, WCAB. This is Bob Cavender reporting.
music and personality. It's Bob Cavender on KWAW-FM.
The Mike Curb Congregation, Burning Bridges.
The city, for your convenience, they are open from 9 to 9 Mondays and 9 to 5:30 Tuesday through Saturday. Stop in today at Montgomery Ward.
Johnny Mathis getting us back into music now with Evil Ways. 15 minutes past 3. You got to change your evil ways. Basketball game last night, wasn't it? Our own Webster City Lynx taking the number 3 rated team of the state, Algona, by a score of 41-22. Here's a song that went from number 4 last week to number 2 this week. Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. You could read my mind, love. The time is 3:30. Time for the weather, brought to you on the half hour by the Farmers National Bank. Service, friendliness, and assistance. These are mere words unless implemented with meaning. The Farmers National Bank means these words as they apply to banking. Now, if you've never been to the Farmers National Bank on 1st Street here in Webster City, then why not talk to someone who regularly does his banking business there? He'll tell you that from checking accounts to personal loans, every department of the Farmers National Bank is helpful and friendly. Generally fair and colder this afternoon and tonight. Partly cloudy and continued cold Monday. Northerly winds around 10 miles per hour this afternoon, becoming light and variable tonight. Highs this afternoon 6 to 12, with lows tonight 8 to 15 below zero. Highs on Monday expected to be 10 to 18. Probability of measurable precipitation less than 5% through Monday. 5 degrees above zero in Webster City. Under clear skies, the winds are out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Barometric pressure holding steady at 30.35. Ready to serve in any way that will make your banking easier and more convenient. That's the Farmers National Bank, located on 1st Street in Webster City. Back into music now with the Osmonds. One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch.
Easy, WEZW. The WEZW time is 2 till 2, and here's a brief summary of the news. Presidential primaries will be held today in Ohio, Indiana, Alabama, and the District of Columbia. Ohio offers the main event in primaries that will cast a total of 281 nominating votes at the Democratic National Convention. The Ohio share is 153 delegate votes. Trustees of Columbia University awarded the 1972 Pulitzer Prizes Monday after an unprecedented debate. Included are awards to the New York Times and to columnist Jack Anderson for revelations of government secrets. An examiner for the Civil Aeronautics Board has ruled that current Air Express rates are not reasonably related to costs and are too high. He set forth Monday a complex pattern of minimum charges that range as much as 11% below levels now in effect. WEZW weather. Mostly cloudy and cooler with a chance of showers today and tonight. A high today in the upper 50s with a low tonight near 40. The current Milwaukee temperature is 48 degrees. From Stereo 104, this is Easy. WEZW, Wauwatosa, Milwaukee. All music, all the time. The North Shore Publishing Company puts out 5 separate area newspapers each week, and they do it for a reason. Because each area is unique, and each area is large enough to sustain a newspaper of their own. Hence the publication of 5 fine newspapers: the Shorewood, Whitefish Bay, Glendale, Brown Deer, and Fox Point, Bayside, and River Hills Herald, all delivering the news of your community. You can't get it anywhere else. School news, church notices, happenings at the civic clubs, local government activities, as well as the sports highlights of the week. If you live in Shorewood, Whitefish Bay, Glendale, Fox Point, Bayside, River Hills, or Brown Deer, and would like to subscribe to the Herald in your area, call their circulation department at 962-2700. 962-2700. Get your Herald for only $5 a year, $9 for 2 years, or $12.50 for 3 years. Know what's happening in your area this week by reading the Herald. 962-2700.
Summertime is here. It's time for fun and play. Chase your cares away. It's the happiest time of the year.
The State Fair of Wisconsin-Milwaukee salutes the armed services. Today is Armed Forces Day. All uniformed servicemen and women admitted free until 6 p.m. See country western star Eddie Arnold.
Meet us at the fair. It's the happiest time of the year. Hey!
When people come to Florida, sooner or later they discover Fort Lauderdale, and they decide they'd like a place of their own on the ocean. A vacation hideaway, an apartment home to which someday they'll retire. And sooner or later, people who want the best of Fort Lauderdale discover Plaza South. Plaza South, on 400 feet of ocean beach, has a limited number of condominium apartments available, with all the luxuries that make an apartment truly a home. Monthly maintenance as low as $84.50. For complete information, write Plaza South, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Or while you're in Florida, see Plaza